The fourth Sunday of Easter is traditionally called Good Shepherd Sunday. The name of our parish and a kind of a feast day of our parish, reminding us that Jesus is the Good Shepherd, leading us, guiding us, taking care of us in all that we do during our lives. We also celebrate today the World Day of Prayer for Vocations, asking God for vocations in our diocese and our world. We especially need vocations. For 6 masses we were asked to do over at St. Bartholomew's. I was there last week. Father Zach's there this week. Father Mike's there the week after because the priest is on leave and they have no priest. So we need to pray for our diocese to bring more vocations into our diocese. Maybe some of your sons may be interested in becoming priests someday. We also celebrate Mother's Day today, celebrating the gift of motherhood. The gospel has that famous metaphor of Jesus as the Good Shepherd, that we are his sheep. A metaphor that Jesus uses many metaphors that he describes himself, saying, I am the Good Shepherd. I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the vine. You are the branches. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. So there's many ways that Jesus tells us who he is. Each year on this Sunday, we reflect on the image of Jesus as the Good Shepherd, devotedly taking care of his flock. The priest of the parish is often called the shepherd. The earlier Christians saw Jesus as a fulfillment of the ancient Jewish dream of what a good shepherd was. The shepherds provided everything for their sheep. They named them, protected them from wild animals, gave them food by leading them to green pastures and fresh water. He kept them enclosed at night, and the sheep knew the shepherd's voice and only would follow the shepherd because they trusted him. A shepherd would even defend the sheep at the cost of his own life if he had to. Jesus wants to be the shepherd of our lives and take care of us, leading us and guiding us and helping us to go to heaven to be with him forever. One way of hearing the voice is through our prayers and listening to God speaking to us in the silence of our hearts. With our world today, sometimes we need to go places where we will have that silence in our heart. And here in our parish, perhaps it's the Adoration Chapel, where you can spend some time just trying to listen to what God has to say to you. Or it could be in your own home, in your own room where it might be quiet, to be able to hear the voice of God and pray to him. As we listen to our readings today, our first reading again from the Acts of the Apostles during this Easter season talks about Paul and Barnabas listening to the voice of Jesus, the Good Shepherd, and following what he wanted him to do by going and preaching in villages around the area. But today we hear they were forced to leave the city because the Jews were jealous of them, and so many people were coming to hear about Jesus and learn more about him. But the Gentiles were happy because once they said that the Jews would not listen, they preached to the Gentiles, and they rejoiced in hearing about Jesus. They also had the persecutions at that time where they had to go to other villages and towns and move. And even those that moved were able to tell about Jesus to others and continue to spread the gospel. We've been hearing the book of Revelation the last few Sundays. And the book of Revelations tells us of Jesus as the glorified Lamb who will shepherd us. A continuation of what we've been hearing. The gospel is only 3 verses long, but it also has that famous metaphor of Jesus as the Good Shepherd and we as his sheep, and the comforting message that no one can snatch the sheep out of the Father's hands. Everyone is entrusted with the care of others. We have many people that care for us. Our pastors, our parents, our teachers, our doctors, our nurses, our government officials. So many people care about us in our society. We become good shepherds by loving those entrusted to us and praying for them. We could think of that as what a mother does in entrusting their children to Jesus and taking care and caring for them all their lives. Today, we are to pray for vocations to the permanent diaconate, to the priesthood, and consecrated life. So let's ask the Lord to help those men and women discerning this way of life to better hear God's voice and follow his call. Let us also pray for our religious leaders, that they may always hear the Good Shepherd's voice clearly in their own lives and leading others to Christ. Especially today, we can pray for our newly elected Pope, Leo. We may want to ponder today how we follow the Good Shepherd and how much we really trust the Good Shepherd to not lead us astray and to help us in our daily lives. In other words, how do we control our lives ourselves and not let God be in control of our lives where he only wants the best for us?